Hello, welcome again to Riza.net tips video. In this video, I would like to show and demonstrate how I use Autofac in Xamarin.Forms mobile apps. I've been a fan of Autofac DI IoC containers and been using it since classic ASP.NET MVCs, even the current ASP.NET Core, WPF, etc. It's kind of a beautiful container that can be used for your project, even enterprise project. In software terminology itself, the dependency injection is a technique where an object is applying the dependencies of another object. But I'm not going to go deep to that part of the DI IoC container itself. All I'm going to do is just use the Autofac in Xamarin.Forms apps. So let's get started. As you can see in here, I already have a solution, which is typically a simple mobile client, and there is one so-called a mobile service here, which only return a list of names of customers as an example. And in the mobile client itself, in here is the Xamarin.Forms, which I already convert from PCL to .NET Standard 2.0. So this is what we're going to use. The entire application is using .NET Standard 2.0 or .NET Core 2.0 as the base framework for the .NET in the Xamarin.Forms. And we have one view model in here and one page in here, and that's it. So I reference this service to the project, to the mobile client project, and let's see what happened if I run. And there you go. It's just a simple list of names from the service. Okay. Let me show you what's inside the service. So inside the service, there is one customer service interface, which has one method called get customer's name, and the implementation is very simple. Just return a hard-coded names list for the sake of example. Okay, now what we're going to do, I would like to use this instead of using a normal implementation of the mobile client services. I would like to use DI IoC Container for my view model and for my customer service. So let's do that. First things first is we add the Autofac, manage to get packages for solution, and we type Autofac, and there you go. We select all, probably except this one, and then if you can see here, Autofac is using .NET Standard 1.1 and it requires the component model and the .NET Standard library 1.6. Since we are using 2.0, so this one is just going to work. So let's install this. Okay. Okay. So the next thing is what I want to do. I'm going to use a service locator pattern. So service locator is how you resolve the service that the application might need to use. For example, in the binding context or even in the service itself. So Autofac already have this, so call it the common service locator, which is using the Microsoft Enterprise library as well. So all I have to do is just install this service locator. Okay, now we have the service locator and also the Autofac installed in our project. The next thing you have to what you have to do is actually usually, as a best practice, if you would like to use the DI container, I sometimes use a separate class to make it clear, and I just name it, let's name it Bootstrap, for example. Bootstrap. Okay, so in this Bootstrap file, what I'm going to do is just to create a simple initialization of the container itself. So let's make this public, and then let's give some public static initialize. That should be okay. And then the first thing what you want to do is to create the container. In Autofac, they call it container builder. I'm just going to name it builder. And the next thing what you want to do is to register the main page view model. We would like to inject this to the XAML. So using the service locator, so what we need to do is and I'm going to say it as self. Okay, that's enough actually. Now let's build the container. I'm just going to name it container builder equals to build. Okay, now we already have this container. What we need to do now is to tell the service locator where to provide this container when it's needed. So in Autofac, they use Autofac service locator. I'm just going to make ASL. Sorry, I thought ASL new service locator and pass in the container. And the next thing you want to do is to use the Microsoft Enterprise Library Service Locator, which is the Service Locator. I can type this. So set locator provider, which is the ASL. That's all you need. So let me just clear this and make it sealed. Okay, so now we have this Bootstrap which only have initialize, and it will create a container, and I'm going to register main page view model, which is what we're going to use for the XAML view model, for the XAML view. And then we build the container, and then we tell the service locator provider, hey, here is the container, you can use it by resolving this later on in your application. Okay, that's all we need. So once we already have this Bootstrap, the next thing what you want to do is to create the view model locator. You can name everything like service locator, or I'm just going to name it view model locator, because to make it easy to understand. So this one is just a class to tell the binding context that, hey, there is a service that you can use in here, and you can resolve the view model and then use it in the XAML. That's all we need. So to do that, let's make this public. And the next thing you want to do is create another static, but this time is a static constructor. Oh, sorry, my bad. Okay, so We initialize the bootstrap. Okay. And the next thing you want to do is you give some properties where is the main page view model that they can use in the binding context. So let's create a properties which is the main page view model, and I'm just going to name it main for the sake of easiness, and I'm just going to do return service locator. Yep. And then I'm going to get the current, and then I'm going to get the instance of that main page view model, which is we already registered. So this one will resolve the main page view model, and it will return it to the to this main property. Let's just clear this. That's it. So this is the view model locator, and this is the bootstrap initialize, and this is the main property that we will use as the binding context for the XAML. So the next thing that you want to do is go to the app here. I happen already have this resource dictionary for the color of the list. If you saw in the beginning of the running application, you can see that the list has a colorful item. And in here, what we're going to do is, maybe we need to compile so they can read the view model locator, because we need the namespace here to be shown in here. So number one, we just name it VM, just name it VM or locator or whatever. And then here is the view model. What we're going to do is to initialize this by using the view model locator and give it a name, give a key, which is, let's name it Locator. Well, that's all you need. Okay. The last thing that you want to do is go to the main page. Since I'm still using this the old way, you can get rid of this, and you add the binding context, which is binding to the main, and we tell that where is the source, which is the static source, static resource, name locator. Okay, so number one, we have the Autofac installed, we create the bootstrap, we register the main page view model, we create the view model locator, and we give a property, and then we initialize the view model locator in the app XAML, and then we bind it to the main page XAML. Okay, so I think that's all we need. Let's run this. We don't have to change anything actually, so all we have to do is just add this part, the bootstrap, the locator, and then bunch of small changes in the XAML part. So let's see. And yay! Now we are using dependency injection to open this main page view model. Lovely. Okay. So the last thing that we want to do some experiment is, for example, suppose that this service is a third party and we want to use it. So we don't have the code, so we cannot see what is it. All we have is just the customer service here. And if you can see here in the page view model, we initialize directly in here. We instantiate the object, the customer service directly in here, and then we'll be able to use it. So what we want to do in dependency injection, we would like to inject this from some object and then inject it to this view model. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to create that external service, which I happen to already make this. So this is the external service, some external service, and as you can see, it's the same thing like the previous mobile client service, and the difference is that the package will be published as a NuGet package. So I will once you publish this, it will generate the NuGet package, and I'm using .NET Standard 1.4, which is okay. And we're going to add this some external service as a NuGet package, which I happen already add that. So the first thing that you want to do, for the sake of clearness, let's make this external libraries, and we add this existing item which I already create. Here it is. So here is the package, okay, and we would like to use this package in this project. So number one is we're going to remove this, remove it, we don't need it for this demo. And then the last thing that you want to do is to add this to all of the application. Just use the manage NuGet package. But if you, as you can see, if you just use like the NuGet resource here, the package source here, you won't see the thing. You won't see your external reference, because I created internally in my own machine in a folder. So all you have to do is just go to the setup and add this folder, okay? You just add this folder and you will be able to see your external libraries. There you go. We add them all, okay? And as you can see in here, it uses the .NET Standard 1.4, okay? I'm going to install this now. You can also, but it's not in Xamarin.Forms. If you're using like WPF or ASP.NET, you can actually don't have to reference it. You can load the DL assembly using reflection and then instantiate from that point using the DI container. Okay, that's it. As you can see, this become an error now because we don't have this. And if I use the iCustomer service, you can see that now it's pointing to the some external service. Okay, but we don't want to do this. We want to use DI. So you can add this and put it in here, and then do like this. Actually, you can just do like put it in here, but for the sake of demo, I'm just going to do this. So this is the iCustomer service, which only has one method, get customer's name, and is taken from the some external services library, which we already installed using the NuGet package manager. Okay, so what's next? We go to the Bootstrap and then we register it. So we builder, the register type, and then the name is customer services. As you can see here, showing the using some external services. And then what I'm going to do is as customer services interface. That's the thing that I'm going to use in the application, meaning this is the implementation, but for the injection, I'm going to use this for the constructor injection, which is happen to be in here. Okay, and that is all. You don't have to change anything. Everything is the same. no code behind. As you can see here, there's no code behind in here, no change. Also in here, no need code behind, everything the same, and that's it. Now let's run this and see what happened. Fingers crossed here, hopefully no error. See what happened. And there you go, the same thing. So now I'm using the IoC container for the main page view model and for the customer data. So let's see one more time, but this time I'm going to add a breakpoint in here to see what is being passing through this iCustomer service. And there you go. So in here, we should be able to see the data by running this first. And I mean, this customer now is filled with the names of the customers. Pretty cool, right? So that's the easiest way to use Autofac in Xamarin.Forms. Very easy, very simple. Not a lot of tweaking needed. All you have to do, just add the bootstrap, the view model locator, and then that's it, and you're good to go. Thank you very much, and if you like this video, please like it, and if you like the source code, you just give a star in my GitHub. Thank you very much, and see you again.